This is 6 Minutes, the Seriously International Daily Newscast. It's Monday, June 9th. I'm Ava Archuleo. It's a sunny day in Kolkata, while Panama is waking up to rainstorms. Here in the Worldcrunch newsroom in sunny Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Israeli forces capture Gaza humanitarian aid boat. The US and China hold trade talks. And our daily quiz question is about a concert at Liverpool. Our top story today is conflict between U.S. President Donald Trump and the California state governor over anti-immigration protests in Los Angeles. Sparked by the arrest of 44 people on alleged immigration violations, violent protests intensified over the weekend, with at least 10 people arrested. Trump responded by deploying 2,000 National Guard troops on Sunday, a move that California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom called unlawful and politically motivated. In our More Than a Minute feature today, French political analyst Pierre Haski warns that Trump's use of the military to quell domestic conflicts risks sparking an authoritarian spiral. Haski's piece for France Inter Public Radio has been translated by Worldcrunch, and the English audio produced with the help of automated voice technology. Pierre, tell us what you make of Trump's move.
It's hard not to see this as authoritarian drift. The U.S. National Guard has been deployed to scenes of civil unrest in the past, but this marks the first time in 60 years that the President of the United States has decided to deploy it against the wishes of the governor of the state in question, in this case, California. More seriously still, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has declared that Marines and therefore the Army are on alert and ready to be sent in if needed. It all began Friday with protests, then riots, against the heavy-handed intervention of ICE, the immigration police, against illegal immigrants in certain neighborhoods of Los Angeles. These raids have become frequent since Donald Trump made them the centerpiece of his election platform and returned to the White House. While Trump is failing on other aspects of his policies, the economy, trade wars, diplomacy, or his dramatic public rift with Elon Musk, the arrests and deportations of migrants have become the only way to show his disoriented voters that he is keeping his campaign promises. This backdrop explains his overreaction on Saturday when he sent 2,000 National Guard troops to California, political enemy territory, a Democratic stronghold, and a sanctuary state when it comes to immigration.
What are the consequences of Trump's decision?
The first consequence of this decision is that it puts the president in direct opposition to Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and one of the leading politicians in the Democratic camp. Newsom described the decision to send the National Guard as purposefully inflammatory and likely to exacerbate tensions, something that hadn't happened since the unrest of the Vietnam War era. Trump cited a law that only applies in cases of threat of invasion, rebellion, or the risk of rebellion against the authority of the United States government. In any case, it's clear that we're far from that. This is therefore an abuse of authority, especially when it comes to the threat of using the Marines against the American population. Trump sees this as a political opportunity, but in the process, he is fueling the worst fears of Americans who dread this administration's drift away from respecting the rule of law. For the past 4+ months in the White House, Trump has been testing the limits of his own power. He has issued numerous executive orders and decrees, marginalizing the legislative branch and abusing the judiciary. Today, the U.S. president is escalating the situation further with this controversial deployment of troops. But the main risk is that he will accentuate the chaotic nature of his administration, which many Americans are already suffering from, with his erratic trade war that is set to revive inflation, or with the disastrous saga of his relationship with Elon Musk, once praised in the Oval Office and now vilified. Trump is playing a high-stakes game with the deployment of the National Guard, which could add fuel to the fire, setting neighborhoods of Los Angeles ablaze and provoking contagion to other places around the country. If this is the case, far from having diverted attention from other problems, he will have created yet one more, with the risk of an authoritarian spiral. This is a moment for the United States that could not be more serious.
C'est dire la gravité du moment.
In other news, Israel has seized a ship operated by a pro-Palestinian aid boat on Monday, as it headed for Gaza to deliver aid and raise awareness of the current humanitarian crisis and blockade. Noted climate activist Greta Thunberg is among the 12-member crew. Hamas condemned the seizure as state terrorism, while international human rights advocates voiced support for further attempts to challenge the blockade. Turning to today's international front pages, Madrid-based ABC, like most Spanish dailies, featured Carlos Alcaraz's epic victory at Roland Garros on Sunday to win his second straight French Open title. Alcaraz confirms his romance with Paris, was ABC's title, along with a photo of the defending champion hugging the trophy. And we're closing things out today with our daily quiz question. What surprise duet were fans treated to this weekend during a concert at Liverpool's Anfield Stadium? A. Beyoncé and Usher. B. Charlie XCX and Chapel Roan. C. Bruce Springsteen and Paul McCartney. Or D. Olivia Rodrigo and David Byrne. The correct answer is C. US rock singer Bruce Springsteen thrilled fans in Liverpool by bringing out Paul McCartney on stage for a surprise duet of the Beatles' Can't Buy Me Love during his encore at Anfield Stadium. The performance marked McCartney's first hometown appearance since 2018. That's the latest from around the world. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain!